Morning, everyone. Happy Rotary Thursday. It's great to see everybody here this morning. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We have Larry, who's going to lead us in the invocation and the pledge this morning, and then we're going to enjoy some breakfast. So, Larry, please.
So, Father, we're just so grateful for the opportunity to come together and fellowship as a club. Father, we ask your blessing on this club as we serve our community. Father, help us to be effective in getting out and serving those that are most in need here. We ask your blessing on the families that are represented by each of our members. Father, you know the needs that are there, and we just pray that you'll meet all of those. We ask your blessing on the food that we're going to be eating this morning, those that the hands that prepared it, Father. Help it to nourish our bodies for your service. We ask these things in Christ's name, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Would you face flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Please enjoy your breakfast. All right. Good morning again, everyone. If you're still eating your breakfast, please continue enjoying your breakfast. Morning on the Zoom side, if you can hear me. Hopefully you can. We have a couple items of business, and then we'll go into our finds and brag bucks, and then, of course, our card game, and then we'll turn it over to our guest speaker, Joe, which we're excited to hear from. So first, I guess, just a little bit of club business, and if you have some, you can feel free to share that as well. Annual dinner, I think Melissa sent something out yesterday. You should have got something in your email. If you're going to come to annual dinner, you can register yourself and a guest if you'd like. Melissa, anything to add to that? It's June 25th, which is, I think, a Friday, and we won't meet the day before that. So it'll be at Rocket City Tavern. It'll be a great time. We'll have to party twice as hard since we missed it last year. So it should be a great event. Thank you, Melissa, and everybody who's helped with that. I think Eric's been a part of that as well. 6 o'clock, I think it is. 7 o'clock. Parrots planning. So that continues. There's been a lot of meetings, a lot of Parrots meetings. That will continue tonight at Debbie's house. So, right, Debbie? Yeah. So that continued a couple weeks ago. It was at Chris's house. Tom hit the ground running. I think he's thinking nothing but Parrots now, which is the way Parrots shares lives end up going once that starts going. So tonight will be at Debbie's house, and we'll hear more about what comes out of that. So we're excited. I think they're planning some big changes. So get ready for some big changes to Parrots. That's what the club requested in the strategic plan, some big changes to Parrots. K-Tech graduation is tonight. So we sponsored one of the participants in K-Tech. We give a $2,500 scholarship. That participant will be graduating tonight. So I'll go there and represent our club for that participant. So that's a great thing that the club does. That's all the club business I have. I know I skipped guests and visiting Rotarians, so we'll move over to that unless somebody else has any other club business that they want to mention.
Yeah. There's some outstanding dues for the last quarter. Please try to get those in, because if you are putting in your foundation contribution, I will be sending those probably the second week of June. So if you want those to get on this app, please get those dues in. I'll send a reminder probably.
Okay, for those on the Zoom side, Bob's just asking if you have an outstanding invoice for the dues for Q4, please get that in as quick as possible. And if you're planning on making a donation to the foundation for this year, he's going to send those in the second week of June. So try to do that sooner rather than later. So, all right. Any guests or visiting Rotarians? I'm looking around this room. I'm seeing family, of course, along with our guest speaker who will join us in a couple minutes. Any guests on the Zoom side? Okay. If not, we'll move over to fines and brag bucks. So, Fred, you're on. I think, Dennis, can you remind about the mic? Okay. Fred, I have a brag.
Oh, you do?
So if you've met my wife, you know she's the better half of the Alvarez clan. and she recently got a promotion in NASA. She's joined the senior executive service for NASA. So she's been there for about 17 years. She's working out of headquarters now, NASA headquarters. So she's excited. We're excited. So we're staying in Alabama. She has an office at Marshall, and she'll have an office at headquarters. So.
You have a condo at the beach now?
Not quite.
All right, the moment we all been waiting for. Where's my desk? Up front.
Get the microphone too. Turn it up.
Yeah, just a quick announcement. Mark Jacobson wanted me to make this, that the food distribution will be as usual on Monday.
Okay. Food distribution on Monday.
What, about 9 o'clock?
I think that's typically around the time, 9 o'clock.
Okay, at the stadium, yeah. All right, who do we got here that hasn't put in a dollar? Oh, we need a virtual person. Someone who's honest.
So Joe, if you just mix it around in there.
Dig deep. Okay. And then reach in somewhere and pull a dollar and then read the last 4 or 5 digits.
4 digits is
Right there.
3863.
That's not it. That's the wrong one.
All right, 863B. 863B. 863B.
Mark Jacobson.
Oh, that's Mark. Who's calling for Mark?
I guess Chris will pull.
Speedy. You don't have to be present to win, I guess, right?
Mark's on it.
As long as somebody's calling.
I'm here.
He's on. Mark, you
I'm
pulled the dollar.
participating.
All right, are you calling for Mark?
If he tells you which card he wants.
Someone put it in for him. All right, here's,
So Mark, which card do you want?
Mark, which card do you want Chris to pull?
Oh, God. You decide. Just pull one.
All right, Chris, you're on your own.
I'm not pulling for him unless you tell me what card to pull.
Hey, Mark, can you hear us? If
I can.
we
Yeah.
can't quite hear you for some reason.
Oh, I'm here.
We can't hear you at all. If you tell us,
Oh.
maybe with your finger, pull 1, 2, or 3, or 4, Chris will pull that card.
We can hear him on the Zoom side.
2. 2. The middle one.
there goes drum roll.
No?
Mark, this is Kerry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you fine.
I guess I didn't win.
All right, so the game continues. We're down to 2 cards.
Oh,
I think we'll
man.
have a full house next week. So I just have a couple slides and we'll turn it over to Joe. Switch it to the next slide. I have one quick PSA. If you turn that to the next slide, Dennis. Okay. One quick PSA, and I had the slide, but it's not showing up for some reason. We're having some technical issues. But if anybody uses Amazon Smile, I know Cynthia puts it in the newsletter, but you can sign up the Rotary, go to Amazon Smiles, sign up for the Rotary Club of Madison Foundation to receive I think it's 0.5% or 0.05% of what you're spending on Amazon. And the club at the end of the year will get that money from just your average shopping or your normal shopping. So the trick is, which I didn't know this, is every time you go to Amazon, either bookmark it, you have to go through Amazon Smiles. So if you're just shopping, even if you signed up the club, if you don't click on Amazon Smiles, if you don't see that in the left-hand corner of your screen while you're shopping, the club's not going to get that donation from Amazon. So, that's I did about a year of shopping, feeling good about myself, and then I ended up contributing 2 or 3 cents to the club, and then I realized what my mistake was. I wasn't going to Amazon Smiles every time. So that's my quick Rotary PSA about Amazon Smiles. It's not pulling up for whatever reason, but we have one anniversary this coming up this week. Bill and Jennifer Drake will be celebrating their, I believe it's their 13th year of their 13th wedding anniversary on the 24th. So Bill, there you go. Yeah, if you haven't done it yet, you have time to make a wonderful anniversary event.
She had this jade bracelet on all the time. And it couldn't get off. Well, when she broke her arm, they had to cut it off. So I got it for you.
Oh, so, well, okay. So Bill is ahead, one step ahead of the program. All right. Thanks, Dennis. Dennis got it working. And last but not least, before we turn it over, make sure our speaker has plenty of time. We have the Science Festival benefits today, community benefits today from Joe. Rock to Rockets next week, and Targog coming up soon after that. So again, no meeting on the 24th. Just mark your calendars for the club dinner on the 25th. And that's all I have. I'm going to turn this over to Chris so she can introduce our guest speaker.
If we can't, that's okay too. Good morning. So thanks to Mark Jacobson for arranging for Joe to come see us, Joe Iacuzzo. I would have done it myself, but he beat me to it. So I'm going to read you the bio because it's short and it's really cool. Since 1996, Joe Iacuzzo has worked in the fields of project management and communication within the museum, education, and science communities. He spent 6 years developing, implementing, and serving as the editor for Jurassic Park Institute at Universal Pictures. Joe is a producer for the Discovery Channel documentary Secrets of the Dinosaur Mummy. He was the founder of one of 2 natural history museums, one in Utah and one in Montana. He's the founder of the Las Vegas Science Festival, and he's currently the founder and director of the Huntsville Science Festival, an affiliate of MIT's Science Festival Alliance. The nonprofit foundation Joe and his wife Catherine founded supports festivals and other educational opportunities. Prior to his work in science education, Joe was a lobbyist, editor, and program manager for professional organizations in the banking, environmental, and medical fields. Joe is one of these super passionate people about educations and dinosaurs and all kinds of cool stuff. So Joe Iacuzzo. Do you want this or you want it out of the way?
That's.
I'll do.
Good morning and thanks for having me here. If I cough, it's because we lived in Hawaii for 8 years downwind from the volcano, and it does a number on your lungs when you are sitting there breathing in sulfur dioxide for all those years. But anyway, we started the Las Vegas Science Festival in 2009. And I did it because I'd been contacted by a fellow I knew at MIT who said that we're one of the larger metropolitan areas that had not yet considered a science festival. So I took the concept to our Natural History Museum where I had worked and done some exhibit development and said, let's explore this. And it's certainly a different community than Huntsville. We had a lot of support from the big casinos and not so much from the local businesses. which is more the model in traditional science festivals. There's about 50 of them across North America. Now, if you're not familiar with the science festival, it's much different from a science fair, which a lot of people confuse the two. A festival, in our case here in Huntsville, is a week-long series of events culminating in STEAM Fest 2021, which will be held at the Von Braun Center this year. And we had planned it last year, but we all know what happened last year. And thanks to people like Chris and Mark Jacobson, and because I'm relatively very new to the community, really, they introduced me to a lot of people who helped support the festival. PPG in particular stepped up and was a big supporter. Aerojet Rocketdyne, Northrop Grumman, Hudson Alpha, and a host of other companies. I won't name them all now, but we ended up having a virtual festival. Our partnerships with the school districts and with the Huntsville Madison County Library System really helped us be successful. We're a nonprofit. There's never a cost to attend or participate in any of the festival events. We don't charge companies who want to be a part of the festival. If you want a table at our STEAM Fest at the Von Braun Center, it's incredibly reasonable. We just pass along the cost that they charge us, which is a couple $100s. But last year we had 18,000 people from our communities participate in the festival virtually. They were logging in to our live interactive broadcasts, our pre-recorded events that we had on there. We had, for example, Northrop Grumman had a robotics kit that we gave away. Well, overall, we gave 1,500 sign kits away, and they were through a lot of the library branches, primarily, where they would do curbside delivery for us, which was wonderful. Boys and Girls Club had hundreds of kits we provided to them. But the events were like they had a scientist live showing how to assemble these little robot kits and talking about the science and technology behind the robots. And it was overall great. This year, we're going to do what we had planned on last year, which is live events. These can range from anything like Pitzel's Confections over at Low Mills, the science of chocolates. She'll be inviting people in and talking about how you make chocolate. Being a devout chocoholic, I started my own chocolate company in Las Vegas years ago, and I know there's a lot to do. It's not just melt chocolate, pour it in a mold, and stick it in a counter. It's but we have Danny Davis over in Low Mill, the science of sound. We have the Von Braun Astronomical Society is actually our kickoff event at their observatory this year. Hopefully it won't be a cloudy sky like it was last year, where they canceled their viewing and went into a series of talks. But what we do as a festival, there's our website. I urge you all to go to huntsvillescience.org, and you can see a lot of the things that we do. If you click on, if you would be so kind as to click on Video Library up at the top menu, that shows a lot of the talks that we had, which we archive. And if you scroll down a little, you'll see this is the actual schedule. There were more, but we took off the ones that we didn't have the videos still up because they were live events. And you can see it's a wide range of topics that we cover. If there's an overarching theme to it, it is science is everywhere. Hence things like chocolate companies, music, rockets. There's a rocket club that Deloitte kind of has through their company that is going to participate this year. And one of our most exciting events that we're going to have that's all year long is the Postcards in Space program, which the Space and Rocket Center is also doing a version of through our partnership with Blue Origin. And we've distributed 40,000 postcards to all the school districts, and they're getting them out to the kids. The kids can fill out or draw a picture of what their vision of life is like in space. The schools then send those postcards to Blue Origin, who load them up on a rocket, send them up into space. When they come back down, they're canceled, saying they're space flown, and the kids get them back so they have their own personalized space flown object. Now, I know it's not only kids who like that, so I have a version of the postcards here that you don't have to be in school of. If anybody wants some, you can take them with you. Again, there's no cost to that. It's a wonderful program that Blue Origin's nonprofit is called Club for the Future is doing with us. There's another project through there, and I'm saying this to all you so you can kind of, I want people to think, how can we get involved? What can our business, organization, whatever, personally do to be a part of a science festival? Anything, if you can imagine that you use a technology and engineering, any STEAM activity, we put the A in there for art, is a perfect thing to put in here. And you can host an event at your business and invite people from the community in. I will tell you that, and we break it down primarily into, we want at least 80% family friendly activities, but there are adult activities. And one of the most popular is the science of brewing. And I've worked with other festivals, like the one in Philadelphia I went to, I'll never forget. There were 500 people in the microbrewery and another 500 outside in line waiting to get in to see the science of brewing. They had little brewing kits and showed you how to make your own beer at home. And then Temple University sent a couple of physicians over who talked later in the night about the science of inebriation. And it was very popular. We will have, as part of this year's festival, we're doing a festival brew that different breweries around, microbreweries around Huntsville and Madison will be creating this. They get the same recipe and they create their own version of that beer. So it's a lot of fun. And it also helps to get the community thinking about STEM learning and STEAM activities. So anybody who wants to participate, you can just contact me and be a part of the festival. One of the things we're doing with Club for the Future, Blue Origin's nonprofit, is called Dream Big Alabama. And it's a wonderful activity that, if you wouldn't mind, could you, I'm sorry, go back to the home page and scroll down a little bit until you see right there and click on that red banner, Dream Big Alabama. So this is the initiative we're doing with Club for the Future and Blue Origin. It's starting out with the send of postcards to space. We just did an announcement yesterday that what we did was fly dinosaur bones into space on the last launch of the Blue Origin New Shepard 15 it was. And we're using those to give away to deserving children and some of the adults who are helping us with the festival. But mainly we want to get these into the hands of kids, little dinosaur bone fragments. Nobody else has those. They're really cool. People who help us, like I said, are Chris she got the first one I've given out. And because she's been an enormous help, as has Mark. But we also are going to do some other programs through Dream Big Alabama. We want this to be kind of the science festival year long. We're working with the Women in Defense to do a version of their Tech Trek program, which unfortunately was canceled last year. And I think they're either scaling it down or canceling it again this summer. But we will do something during festival week. And that's where they take underprivileged 7th and 8th grade girls and put them into a camp program to get them interested in STEM learning. So this is something that, again, I look to the community, because a science festival is always community events, to suggest programs to us. We do some crazy stuff. I was just telling Chris, our foundation was just given a steam train, one of the kind that you ride on, that you actually have to shovel coal into it. But we've actually used those in the past. When I lived in Hawaii, we used model trains to teach scale, to teach engineering, to teach math, those types of things. So we will bring kids to where we set up our train, which may be at our house, but we've got a big yard, and it's really cool. So anything that you can imagine that is STEM or STEAM related, we can integrate in here. Anything that your company wants to provide to the festival in terms of resources, we can try and integrate it in, as long as it is remotely in the field. Any of your companies or organizations or anyone you know who wants to be at STEAM Fest, we're going to have about 40 tables. We anticipate, it's all free. We anticipate 5,000 to 7,000 people will attend on October 30th. I don't know if you all saw that. The event is October 24th through the 30th. So the 30th is the Von Braun Center event. And we will have about 40 in the middle. We'll have a main stage where we'll have some guest speakers, keynote speakers, and demonstrations. The fellow, I don't know if any of you have seen, he has the Tesla coil gun that basically it's a lightning gun. And he sets up hydrogen filled balloons, and shoots them and they explode. And it's a really cool demonstration of science. We'll have, because my background, as you heard, is in paleontology primarily, we're setting up kind of a Jurassic Park corner where we'll have a couple of paleontologists coming who are going to bring some really cool fossils. And that will be, we're just going to set it up and try and create this little corner environment that you're going back to the prehistoric, talking about geology, paleontology. One thing we don't yet have, if any of you know any archaeologists, I'm looking for a good one, and to participate. Opening day, Sunday the 24th, we're working with the City Parks Department to have what we call Ologist Day, where we will have, we're working with the National Weather Service. They're going to give us meteorologists, we'll have biologists, geologists, entomologists, just anybody who is in the field of science that we can show kids and families what STEM education opportunities there are for kids out there to get into. And this is an underline everything, and they keep stressing this from the folks at MIT, who do help support us, by the way. They say this is workforce development, and particularly in Huntsville, with all the tech industries here, getting some homegrown talent is a really important thing to keep the kids here, working here and learning here, and going to UAH, where we actually have our office for the foundation is on campus there. So anyway, if you want to participate, contact me through there, or I've got business cards. You can call me. I'm not a texter. I email, and I like to talk on the phone. So feel free to contact me with any questions, comments, anything you want to tell me about how you can participate or support the festival. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. We are working with other museums, by the way, to one of my fondest wishes is to create in the next few years, a natural history resource for Huntsville. I've talked to a couple people locally who are very interested in, or actually have already been exploring that. Because as wonderful as space science is and technology, I like to present, what's going on with the Earth and what's been happening. And so we're working with that. That's a wonderful painting. Again, this is a good example of, that's the moon Almathea over the surface of Jupiter. That was an original painting done for the festival last year that we auctioned off. and it was donated by the artist, Julius Chitney, who is very famous in both space and dinosaur art. He did the murals that are in the new dinosaur wing at the Smithsonian Museum in Washington. And those are the kinds of things. We had coins that a astrophysicist designed for the Canadian Mint that were donated, and then she signed the little capsule that the coins come in. These are pictures of some of the Science Festival events that I did in Las Vegas. We're working with First Robotics. We're going to have a robotics competition at the Steam Fest here, and we have a minimum of 6 teams attending. The outdoor events, that's kind of what we plan on doing in the parks. That's one showing the science of dropping Mentos into Coke. And the one on the far right bottom there is the brewery one. And you can see how people were jolly at that one. So does anybody have any questions? How to participate? Yes.
Do you see this as an annual? Do you see this as an annual event?
Oh, absolutely. We're calling this our second annual, even though last year was completely virtual. Like I said, we still had 18,000 people from the community participate. I anticipate, that it grows. Our first year in Las Vegas, we had about 10,000 people participate at the different events. By the 9th year, they canceled the 10th annual because of COVID. But by the 9th year, the Las Vegas Festival had over 50,000 people attending the different events around the city. Things like the Bellagio would open up underneath their fountains to show people all the technology being used to make the fountains work. It was really cool. Varian was showing how they made their electron guns and things like that. And I think they actually had one of the companies showing how they make slot machines. But anything else? Yes.
Are you working with Decatur, their science museum there?
Yes, the Cook Museum, we've been in contact with them. They were going to host events last year. Again, COVID, I think they're just getting their feet back under them. I had one chat with them, but we are going to be in Decatur. We do want to reach into some of the around North Alabama, Scottsboro, and Athens, obviously, and a couple of the other smaller communities. And one of the things that we do as part of the festival is provide transportation. Some of the monies that the foundation raises goes to hiring buses to bring people from those communities into who might not be able to get there otherwise. Anything else?
What are the dates again, Joe?
It's October 24th through the 30th. The 30th is the Von Braun Center event. Oh, one of the things that we do, I forgot, is, and we're working with the school districts, we create a list of people who want to volunteer to go into classrooms and talk about their STEM or STEAM field. And the teachers pick who they want to invite into the classroom, and that's Monday through Friday. So it would be the 25th through the 29th of October. And because I do dinosaurs, I'm usually the most requested person, but I love doing it. I go in and I was doing 2 and 3 a day, primarily to middle schools, and talking about dinosaurs and Jurassic Park, and how I never anticipated that was a job a human being could have, to go in and play with giant robot dinosaurs on a movie set. Anything else? Well, I hope all of you can figure out a way to participate in one form or another. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have a couple minutes. Does anybody have anything before we close? If not, I'll give you a couple minutes back in your life. Tom?
We're meeting tonight to go through an extensive list of potential names for the event that was called Parrots. If anybody has any great ideas for a Halloween type event, any names for the event, just send it to me or Chris or Peter, and we'll make sure it gets into the mix for the meeting tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we'll get. Pet Parrot Society. Okay. Anything else before we close? All right. Thank you again, Joe, for that great talk. Please stand for the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first. Second. Third. We'll build goodwill and better friendships. And fourth. We'll build to all concerned. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great day.